Some of the topics you already mentioned, you speak about project management. I've also seen other stuff from time management, leadership, exercising, happiness. How many courses do you have on Udemy or LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, I've got 34, which is a lot. I don't know how many I've got on Udemy. I think it's a bit less. I think I've probably only got about 20 something on Udemy. But when I first started making courses and I realized that some of them would bring in quite a lot of money per month, but you don't know which ones, I just thought I'm going to make more and I'm going to see what happens. So it was partly for the money, but it was also, I wanted to record everything that's in my head. And over the years, when people have said, can you do a course on difficult people? I thought, yeah, I think I could design something for that. And then I've ended up doing it and it's been good. And so now I just want to record everything that's in my head. And I've nearly run out now. I've pretty much recorded everything, but it is quite a lot. What I would say to somebody who's going to get into training or speaking is I think it's good to have a variety of subjects. So some people have said to me, no, stick to your lane, have one subject that you are the expert. I don't agree with that at all, because I think first of all, it's harder to sell only one thing. And quite often, repeat sales are for different things as well. So you might do a sales course and they love it. And then you need to say, well, why don't you do a negotiating course next? Because they need to know about that. And the customer says, yeah, good idea. Let's do that. So it's much easier to sell if you have related subjects. But also, I think I would go mad. Some would say I already have. But I think I would go mad if I taught the same thing every day. And I have occasionally had a week where by pure chance, I'm doing project management every day. And by the time I get to Friday, I'm sick of project management. I'm thinking, oh, even though I love it as a subject, to do it 5 days a week would be, oh, I don't know how anyone can do that. So if you've got 5 different subjects and you do maybe 3 a week or something like that, it means they only come around every 2 or 3 weeks, and that's fine. So I think you need a variety of subjects. And I think there's one other reason as well, which is that if you're teaching sales, but you also understand negotiating and you understand customer service, you can do a much better sales course. And if somebody asks a question about prices, you can say a little bit about negotiating during that course. So I want an all-rounder teaching me. I don't want a person who knows only about selling and can't go outside of that. So I actually think anybody who's going to do training really ought to have 3 or 4 subjects at least. My 34 courses are really only based on about 5 subjects. So I've done variations like time management systems and project management when you're working out resources for multiple projects. And so I've gone into more detail on different things, but they're really only about 4 or 5 subjects. And for
I
me, I
love
think
that tip.
yeah, absolutely. Just get a number of subjects. I did have one guy once who said, why should I hire you? It's the only time I've ever been asked. He said, why should I hire you to do negotiating? Because you do lots of things. So you're obviously not an expert on negotiating. So why should I hire you? And I said, well, you're right. I'm not an expert on negotiating. I'm just very good at explaining it simply. You don't want the world expert who's going to do obscure research into negotiating. You just want somebody who can tell you the top 10 basic things to do really clearly. And it's almost better if I'm not an expert, because if I was an expert, I'd be bored with teaching the basics and I would be so clever you'd hardly understand me. So what you want is a normal person who will teach you the basics really clearly. And that's what I claim to do. I don't think you need to be the world expert on something to teach it. You want to be someone who knows quite a lot about a number of subjects. I think that's the ideal trainer. Personally, that's what I would say.